Have you ever wondered when to sow seeds and when it's appropriate to harvest them? How did they even know? There was a time when there were no dates on this earth, no years, months, or weeks. Yet, some people knew which days were auspicious and which were not. Have you ever thought about why there are 365 days in a year and why there are 12 months? The answers to these questions are not very easy because they lie in the roots of science and the depths of ancient civilization. Therefore, in today's video, we will take time far back to an era with no dates and no clocks, where time was understood by feeling, not by looking. But a word of caution, what you're about to know in today's video might completely change how you think about time. If you are willing, I request you to watch the full video. And to my new friends, please press the subscribe button and select all on the bell icon. There is a question that no one has been able to fully explain, not even historians or scientists. The question is, when there were no clocks and no calendars, how did people understand time? Imagine you are in a world where there are no dates, no time, no new year, no clocks or calendars. Imagine you don't know today's date or the day of the week. How would you understand when to meet someone, when to celebrate birthdays, or on which date to celebrate festivals? It sounds quite complex, doesn't it? But surprisingly, people back then were running their lives just fine. Farmers sowed seeds at the right time, made future plans, and even determined the days for battles, even though January 1st, year 001, hadn't started yet. They didn't have any digital watches, yet they knew which time was important or when it was dangerous. So, did they talk to the stars or the sun in the sky? Or did they possess some mysterious knowledge that we perhaps don't know much about? Many believe that ancient people understood time by observing nature. Changes in the sky, the shape of the moon, the path of the sun, and the position of the stars at night. These were their methods of understanding time. What we call measuring time today. But have we ever actually been able to measure time accurately? Let's imagine time started on January 1st, 001. But the truth is, this was just the moment when humans tried to bind time. Time had begun long before that. We didn't understand the language of time then. Thousands of years ago, when people looked at the sky, they saw the moon changing shape, the sun going from one side to the other, stars shifting from one position to another. These changes were the language of time. Back then, people felt time not with their eyes, but from the heart. But living by this feeling was not always possible. Therefore, people needed something to capture the moment and tie time together. And from this, humanity's first time machine was born, which we now call a clock. But in the beginning, there were no metal clocks, nor any calendars. Back then, time was measured by looking at the shadow of stones. Time was guessed by observing how the shadow fell depending on the sun's position. By placing stones in the ground and marking them, the movement of the sun and stars was observed. That is how the first techniques for measuring time were developed, from which today's calendar and clock systems gradually emerged. But one question remains: how did they measure time with stones? The answer to that is quite amazing. Ancient civilizations used to place huge stones in such a way that when sunlight hit them, the shadow would fall on a specific spot, allowing them to estimate the time. As for calculating the year or months, every day the sun rises from a slightly different angle, and consequently, the shadow of the stones would change. However, on a specific day of the year, that shadow would fall perfectly upon a large stone, marking the end of the year. Although the matter may seem complicated, it was a simple thing for them. Like England's famous Stonehenge, it is an ancient calendar through which people understood time. Looking at Stonehenge, it might seem like just some randomly placed stones. However, it was the result of their meticulous planning. Every year, on June 21st, the sun would rise right through the middle of those stones, and on December 21st, it would set there. No clock, no calendar. They understood the flow of time simply through the sun and stones. At 2022, study has shown that each stone of Stonehenge marks a day or week of the year through sunlight, just like today's calendar. Those stones were their timekeeping guards. Therefore, when looking at pictures of Stonehenge, do not think it is just a pile of stones. It was a marvelous scientific calendar that interpreted time through the play of stones and sunlight. Not only in England, but in India too. Such calculations of sun and time started thousands of years ago. Even in Bangladesh, we find imprints of timekeeping in many temples and ancient architectures. Temples were not just places of worship, they were centers for measuring time, such as the Sun Temple of Konark in Odisha. Many believe it was not built solely for worship, but rather as an ancient time machine that kept track of time and seasons. Located near the sea, this temple is designed in such a way that on 2 specific days of the year, sunlight directly hits the main sanctum sanctorum of the temple. Furthermore, the chariot of the Sun Temple has 12 wheels and 7 horses. Each wheel represents the 12 months of the year, and the 8 spokes on each wheel mark the 8 parts of the day. Just as we now measure time by hours, in ancient times, time was measured by beats. The wonderful thing is that the time could be known by the shadow of the sun on this wheel. At that time, clocks did not exist in many parts of the world. People in these subcontinents used to read time by looking at stones, which was not just an art, it was pure science. When ancient people first looked at the sky, they understood that there was something in the sky that was changing every day. The shape of the moon in the night sky changes constantly. From a thin line, it gradually becomes a full circle and then disappears into the darkness. This change was not only beautiful, it was the first indication of understanding time. Thousands of years ago, when clocks or calendars did not exist, people first adopted the moon as a time measuring device. For example, it takes about 29 days for the moon to complete a full cycle, from the new moon to the full moon, and then again to the new moon. The world's first calendar was born from this cycle, which is called the lunar calendar. The concepts of Tithi, Paksha, etc. in the Indian calendar were created based on the movement of this moon. This calendar was not just a way of understanding time. This became the basis of society, religion, agriculture, and festivals. When to get married, when to worship or celebrate Eid, everything was determined by the moon. For example, until now, Eid is started by seeing the presence of the moon. In addition, time was understood by seeing another cosmic force, that is the sun. A full cycle of the sun means a year of 365 days. Is it all a coincidence, or does it all depend on the movement of the sun, moon, and the earth? The earth rotates once on its axis in 24 hours. The sun was fixed, accurate, and predictable like the moon. This is why the Egyptian and Roman civilizations adopted the sun-based calendar, which we call the solar calendar. But now the question is, on one side there is the 29-day lunar calendar, on the other side, the 365-day solar calendar. So which is more natural and reliable? This conflict was resolved in India. In India, a unique calendar system was created which combined both and was named the lunar solar calendar. In this calendar, an additional month is added after every 32 to 33 months, so that the lunar year matches the solar year. Ancient scholars took the help of solar science to understand this calendar. They created this calendar by calculating the movements of the moon, sun, planets, stars. Currently, the solar calendar is mainly used in modern life, technology, administration, and international activities. It is the most acceptable and scientifically accurate method of measuring time. However, since ancient times, one method has been closely associated with our lives. That is the moon. That is why even today, festivals like Holi, Diwali, Eid are fixed according to the date of the moon. However, today, the way we celebrate the new year every year on January 1st by lighting fireworks and lanterns, we enter a new year. But do we know where this date came from? In 46 BC, that is, 46 years before January 1st, 001, the Roman Emperor Julius Caesar realized that the Roman calendar had become chaotic. Agricultural work hours did not match religious ceremonies, and the time was wrong. As soon as he untangled this tangle, he introduced the Julian calendar, where every year has 365 days, and once every 4 years, a leap year is kept. The calendar starts directly on January 1st, AD from 1 meaning 0000 year. There was no such thing as year, which is considered to be the year of birth of Jesus Christ. But history says that Jesus was actually born 4 to 6 years before him. Thus, after many centuries, it was seen that this calendar was this small error accumulated over 1,500 years and created an average of 10 days. As a result, the Christian calendar spring or religious festivals were coming at the wrong time. Then Pope Gregory VIII corrected a mistake in 1582. 10 days were directly dropped from the old calendar. The day after October 4th was announced as October 15th. That is, if you look at the calendar of 1582, you will not see 10 days there. October 4th was Thursday, and the next day was October 15th was Friday. This Gregorian calendar is followed by today's modern world. So now the question arises, how did these calculations of 12 months in a year and about 30 days in a month come about? Is it all a coincidence, or does it all depend on the movement of the sun, moon, and the earth? The earth rotates once on its axis in 24 hours. That is one day. The moon orbits the earth once in 29 days. That is 1 month, and the earth takes 365.25 and 25 days to revolve around the sun. And during this time, the moon is in the house 12 times. So there are 12 months in a year, and to handle the calculation of 25 days in the Earth's motion point, every 4 years, 1 day is added to calculate the leap year. Then, February has 29 days. Today, technology has made this calculation easy. But in ancient times, the sages made these calculations with their bare eyes and their bare heads. They saw time not just as a number, but as a living feeling. Today, we may be stuck only in the calendar and the clock. As I said, the real language of time is still hidden between the sun, the moon, and the heartbeat. January 1st, 2001. It was not the beginning of a new era. It was just a single day. Time flows quietly like a river at its own pace. We just stand on the bank and watch its edge. We want to stop that river at the turn of the clock. But has the river ever stopped because of someone's obstacle? Maybe time never began, and it will never end. Beginning and end are the criteria we create. In the eyes of nature, time is a cycle, a flow. But we humans have somehow turned that time into numbers printed on a page. You can comment on the video and tell us how you liked it. You can like it. You can subscribe to the channel, and see you in the next new episode. Thank you.